Stories are not about what we think they are about. Stories are about the way the story is told. My name is Carlos Ruiz Zafon. I'm a writer from Barcelona, and in my free time I play the piano. The great frustration of my life, if I have one, probably is that I never had a music education. I wanted to have a full-blown music education. I would have loved that, to have that opportunity to really develop whatever talent I had for music. I could never do it, so I became an amateur musician, self-taught. I think that because I'm interested in writing music and composing, that the piano itself, perhaps, it's the orchestra, it's the instrument.
A sensational talent sparked from a desire for using words, communicating, and storytelling.
I tend to see writing and language from a similar perspective I see music. For me, music is just another language. When I'm writing prose, when I'm writing fiction, I'm very aware of this, and I tend to think as an orchestrator.
The bond between language and music can be traced back for centuries. Even before Spain's greatest writer, Miguel de Cervantes, the connection, a mutual stimulation.
I think of every word in terms of color, of timbre. I think about the dynamics. I think about different sections to achieve a narrative effect, to create tension, to create a pace, to create tempo, to create many effects of light and dark. And when I'm writing something and constructing a sentence, a paragraph, I think of it as a piece of music that needs to tell a story. But the real essence of a storytelling is about the staging, about how we tell the story, how we work the language. And this is something that I feel it's true for any genre, for anything. And if we are telling the story in an efficient, in the right way, in a way that really does justice to the characters, to the world, to the universe, to the narrative we want to transmit, what the reader will receive is that. Is the story, is the characters, is the world, but the essence, the vehicle, the structure that really enables that to happen is the language, and that is the first and single foremost important element in any piece of creative writing.
Siempre he sabido que algún día volvería a estas calles para contar la historia del hombre que perdió el alma y el nombre entre las sombras de aquella Barcelona sumergida en el turbio sueño de un tiempo de cenizas y silencio.
His most ambitious work has been translated into multiple languages. The Cemetery of Forgotten Books series is a magnificent web of literature set in 20th century Spain.
The idea of the Cemetery of Forgotten Books, beyond that fantastical library, this labyrinth of books hidden in a palace in the old town of Barcelona, is a metaphor not just for forgotten books, but for forgotten ideas, for forgotten people, for memory. After 15 years working on the saga, I finally finished the fourth and last book, and the title of the book is The Labyrinth of the Spirits. This is the grand finale to the saga. This is the place where we made all the characters, all the subplots, all the lines, all the elements of the three previous novels, and where everything clicks and is in a gigantic clockwork mechanism that finally the labyrinth that we may have explored through different doors, because the idea always was with this saga that it was not necessarily a sequential story, but that was a kind of a big labyrinth of stories in which you could enter through different doors, a Chinese box of fictions. You could read first the third book or the second and the first in any order, and depending on what was the route you picked, what was the door of entry, your experience of the characters, of the stories of this world would be different, and you would see things from different angles that would allow you to think of the characters and see things in them that were very different.
most read author from Spain since Cervantes.
By giving life to fictitious characters and setting the stage for them, Carlos Ruiz Zafon will continue crafting his best product, intriguing tales.
The struggle is always trying to find a way in how to make a living doing what you love. I'm here still standing, and I hope to continue doing it until they knock me down.